Welcome to F1 23 Time Trial, the home of esports sweats, rage,
Jarno,
and world records. And I want to set some of these world records myself. However, the problem is that I stink at the F1 games and I definitely can't set a normal world record. So after about an hour of just going through every single leaderboard on the time trial mode, I found that with supercars, China was the least attempted track. And if you've read the title of this video correctly, I chose the safety car. So the time to beat was a 1 minute 14.323 set by the Mad Ant 19, who at the time was 27th in the world. So for my first lap, I honestly did not have a clue what I was doing. I had never driven the safety car before in the F1 game, and as you're about to see, there is a lot of room for improvement. I've cut this lap down quite a lot as well. The safety car is so slow to drive, it literally takes about 3 business days to get up to 100 miles an hour, and I was making mistakes everywhere. However, when I was driving around, I actually thought I was on a pretty good lap. This was because I hadn't invalidated just yet, and I was a long way up to the default ghost, which is effectively the step below 0% AI. So as I'm finishing up my first lap here, I was pretty happy with how it was all going. I hadn't made any massive mistakes like spinning, and I knew there was time to gain literally everywhere. Ignore the fact that I just invalidated, nobody's perfect. Anyway, as we come up to the finish line here, my lap time is a 2 minute 23.711. This is 9.388 seconds off the world record. Yeah, not ideal. But on the very next lap, I was making huge progress. As we leave the penultimate corner here, I am 3.3 tenths up and improving. And you can literally see how useful it is to know what the car you're driving is actually like, as I was able to make up for so many little mistakes. Annoyingly, I do once again invalidate my lap, but it won't make much of a difference as we go through the video. As I'm coming up to the finish line here, I improved by 3 and a bit seconds, and this moves me within just over 6 seconds of the world record. And just a couple laps later, I was making even more progress. This would be the first valid lap that I actually set, and I also gained 1.5 seconds to my previous best lap time. This brought me within 4.6 seconds of the world record, and I was actually starting to think that I could complete the challenge. And for what would be my final lap of the first day, I had found even more time compared to my personal best. I finished the first day with a 1 second improvement, and for the first time in this challenge, I was within 4 seconds of the world record. This meant that I had gained over 5 seconds in my first day, and at this rate, I would break the world record tomorrow. Well, it turns out it didn't exactly go to plan. So for day 2, my aim was to just keep improving and try and get as close to 1.5 seconds away from the world record as possible. Unfortunately, things didn't exactly start the way I wanted them to continue. So after about an hour of just making absolutely no progress, I decided that I had to switch something up. I went onto the time trial leaderboard and checked out all of the best safety car times, and I noticed one thing. Every single one of them had ABS turned off. Guess what? I didn't. I made this change straight away, and the improvement I started to make was unreal. So one of the main things I noticed with ABS being turned off was that because the safety car is so slow, at least compared to an F1 car, it didn't really matter if it locked up. This was ideal because now I could brake just as hard, but also later, because if your tyres stop moving, you are of course going to slow down faster. Anyway, as we go through the penultimate corner here, by the way, this was probably one of the best exits I got all day. I was almost 8 tenths up, and coming up to the final corner here, I knew that if I took it well, I would gain even more time. For once, I didn't actually bottle it, and I got a pretty decent exit, and as you can see, I'm gaining so much time. I finished the lap with a 1.3 second gain, and now I was only 2.5 seconds away from the world record. And just 4 laps later, I was once again making progress. As we're coming out of the super long first section of corners, I'm half a second up on my delta. However, what happens here is probably the most important part of this entire challenge. We're about to finish the first sector and have a look at this. I'd set a time faster than the world record holder. This is where I started to believe that I could actually complete the challenge. And by the end of the lap, I'd gained another 2 tenths. Annoyingly though, I had a shocking exit which cost me 4 tenths. However, it did give me hope that I would soon be able to make even more progress on my next lap. And although it took me a while to get to my next personal best, I got there in the end. This wasn't the best exit, but I definitely gained some time, and in the end I set a lap time that was within 1.5 seconds of the world record. I had managed to complete my goal for the day and still felt like I had time to gain. And just 1 lap later, I had gained so much time. As we're going through the penultimate corner here, I lock up momentarily, which definitely cost me a tenth or 2. However, for some reason it gave me a nice exit. I'm not complaining. So as we're coming up to the final corner here, we are just behind the world record holder, and I thought for a moment that I might actually complete the challenge. Sadly though, I had a huge wobble at the exit of the final corner, which probably cost me a couple of tenths. However, this was my first lap within 1 second of the world record, and for day 2 I was extremely happy with my progress. So for day 3, I knew that it was make or break. I recorded day 3 just before this video came out, and I knew that there was 2 things that would mean whether or not I could break the world record. First up was the very long first section of corners. As you can see here, on my previous best lap I broke way too late and just didn't turn in at the correct time. And I knew that if I could take the proper racing line, I would at least gain a couple of tenths. The other improvement that I knew was absolutely possible was the final corner. On my previous best lap, I made a huge error on the exit of the final corner. I kind of just bottled it, and it definitely cost me at least 4 tenths. If I could take these 2 corners correctly and keep my delta positive throughout the rest of the lap, I knew I would be able to easily complete the challenge. And honestly, from the beginning of day 3, I was straight on it, setting some seriously good lap times. As you can see, I'm 5 laps into my stint and about 2 tenths up. I've invalidated, but the corner cut actually lost me time as I tried to bait the F1 game into not giving me an invalidation. I'm sure you've tried it on the F1 game before, but sadly it did not work this time. However, I did want to complete this lap as I was desperate to see if I could actually set the world record. Even if it wasn't going to count unofficially, it would definitely help my confidence if I was able to make it happen. So we're just going through the penultimate corner here, and I did lose a bit of time down the main straight, about a tenth. However, I do claw this back on the exit of the corner, and now I'm about 2.5 tenths up going into the final corner. This was crucial for my confidence. Coming in here, I got a lovely turn in, held it in 3rd gear, and I just about managed to keep it on the track. Or I think I did, because it could have been invalidated. Anyway, I finished the lap well over 6 tenths ahead of my previous personal best, and although it would not count, this was 4 100ths ahead of the world record. And honestly, this was probably the best thing that could have happened to me if I really wanted to break the world record today. So at this point I was feeling pretty confident. However, I had one bit of doubt in my mind, and it was if I could actually set a lap that was good enough for a world record which wasn't invalidated. So my solution to this was turning off the ghost cars of my personal best and the Mad Ant 90s, as they were definitely getting in my head when I knew I was on a good lap and I thought that I could actually break the record.
Cause they've taken too much hits, they go blow by blow. Now light them at stand back, watch him explode. She's got a lions in her heart, a fire in her soul. He's got a beast in his belly that's so hard to control. Cause they've taken too much hits, they go blow by blow. Now light them at stand back, watch him explode, 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 explode. When you've been fighting for it all your life.
I had done it. In the end, I broke the world record by only 82 thousandths of a second, but it did not matter. I was now 25th in the world and also in the top 3%, which I don't think I've ever been that high before. To be fair, that does say quite a lot about my ability. This honestly took me so long to complete, and I'm sure some of you would do it very easily, so please put your time in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and please check out my other world record video where I try and set a no rules world record.